Good morning and welcome to all of you here, and thank you all for your patience. I know many of you have been waiting a long time. We're very committed to access and success for our students here, and you can see we're having a lot of success. So it takes a long time to get the graduates seated. So again, thank you for your patience. I'd like to ask you all to please rise and remain standing for the posting of the colors and the singing of our national anthem.
Left, 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 right. Left, 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 right. Left, 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 right.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red roar, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the brave and the home of the brave?
Will everyone please be seated? Members of the class of 2017, members of the faculty and staff, families and friends of the graduates, welcome to the 148th Oregon State University Commencement. We also welcome those who are watching the ceremony live on Oregon Public Broadcast Network and online. I am pleased to share with all of you that this commencement ceremony is the largest in the history of Oregon State University, at which we will be distributing 7,097 degrees today. Serving all people, regardless of their personal, economic, or family circumstances, gender, or race, has been central to Oregon State University's mission since its founding in 1868. Academic commencement is a centuries-old tradition and a time of joy, most of all, but also a time for reflection. It is a time to think about what you have achieved, about your future, and about those who have helped you along the way. In this stadium today, surrounding these graduates are families and special friends who have helped in many ways, emotionally, spiritually, and with long-lasting love and affection. And let's not forget, financially. So, I ask all the families and friends of these graduates to stand up, and I invite our graduates to stand and join me in thanking them for all the help they've given to make this day possible. Thank you. Please be seated. We are very honored to welcome to Oregon State University our commencement speaker, Husnu Ozyegin. Mr. Ozyegin is an alumnus who has been listed several times by Forbes, listen to this, business students, several times by Forbes as Turkey's most successful businessman with significant philanthropic interests in healthcare and in education for women, among others. Oregon State University takes great pride in its worldwide recognition for outstanding academic programs and for the accomplishments of our many graduates. The architects of this excellence are our renowned faculty. My colleagues, the faculty, make Oregon State the superb university that it is. I ask all faculty, current and past members and marshals, to please stand and be recognized. Thank you. It is my pleasure to recognize Pat Reeser, who serves as chair of the Oregon State University's Board of Trustees. Pat is joined today by other members of OSU's Board of Trustees as distinguished members of the Platform Party. Pat is board chair of Reeser's Fine Foods, a family-owned fresh food company. What many of you may not know is this will be Pat's last commencement appearance as chair of the board. We didn't have a board of trustees for 80 years, so we didn't have a very good blueprint about how boards of trustees are supposed to work. We've had a great group of trustees and staff who've helped us figure out how to get things right, but it never would have come close to where we are today but for Pat Reeser. So please join me in recognizing the chair of the Board of Trustees, Pat Reeser.
Thank you, President Ray. Members of the class of 2017, President Ray, Provost Fazer, special guest Husnu Ozyegin, faculty, administrators, family, friends, and other distinguished guests. On behalf of the Board of Trustees of Oregon State University, I welcome you to this university's 148th commencement ceremony. Class of 2017, first, I want to congratulate you for a decision you made 4, 5, perhaps 6 years ago when you decided to invest in your own education. And second, I congratulate you on your achievement. For each of you, the diploma you'll receive today represents countless hours of study and the commitment of significant funds and resources and energy preparing for your life, your career, and service to others. We are so proud of you and what you have accomplished. Now, I know the term A game has often been used in relation to athletics, but I'm convinced that each one of us has an A game. So today, I challenge each of you, whether your first language is English, Spanish, Arabic, Mandarin, Hindi, or Russian, whether your name is Cody, Brandon, Brett, Adriana, Rachel, or Rahul. Today, I challenge each of you, take your own A game into the world as you take a crack at solving some of the world's most vexing problems. Whatever you do for others or for yourself, take your A game. Then regardless of the outcome, you will know you have brought the very best of who you are to whatever you have faced. You have our very best wishes. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Please join me now in welcoming Husnu Ozyegin, our honorary doctorate recipient, and Provost and Executive Vice President Ed Fazer to the podium.
Thank you, President Ray. It gives me great pleasure to welcome Husnu Ozyegin as this year's commencement speaker and honorary doctorate recipient. Mr. Ozyegin has made significant contributions to the global community with extensive work in social entrepreneurship, education, women's rights, equity, children and youth development, and arts and cultural preservation. He is an OSU alumnus from the class of 1967 with a degree in civil engineering, who went on to receive an MBA from Harvard Business School in 1969. While at OSU, he served at ASOSU as the ASOSU president and first vice president. Mr. Ozyegin is a prominent business person and well-known philanthropist in Turkey and Europe. He is the chairman of FIBA Holding, FIBA Banca, Credit Europe Bank Suisse in Geneva. He's also a member of the board of Credit Europe Bank Russia. FIBA Holding is active in financial services, tourism, retail, real estate development, and renewable energy. Mr. Ozyegin's career in finance, banking, and development has long been informed and influenced by his training as a civil engineer here at OSU. In 2008, he built and fully staffed from the ground up a state-of-the-art undergraduate and graduate institution that re-envisions higher education as both highly entrepreneurial and financially accessible. It has become Turkey's fourth largest private university. Ozyegin University declares its leading values as freedom, flexibility, multidimensionality, and accessibility. Mr. Ozyegin serves as chairman of the Board of Trustees of the university. President Ray, Husnu Ozyegin superbly exemplifies the coveted qualities represented by the honorary doctorate degree.
They'll bring it to you. Upon recommendation of the Faculty Senate Awards and Recommendations Committee and the Provost, by the authority of the Oregon State University Board of Trustees, and in the name of Oregon State University, I hereby confer upon you, Husnu Ozyegin, the degree Doctor of Civil Engineering, honoris causa. In testimony thereof, you will be invested with the hood and presented with the diploma. I now have the great honor and privilege to introduce to you OSU's 2017 commencement speaker, Husnu Ozyegin.
Now that I have a doctorate degree, I can teach in my university. President Ray, Provost Ed Fazer, trustees, members of the Oregon State University faculty, students, distinguished guests, graduates, and proud parents and families, thank you for inviting me to share this momentous occasion with you. It's a great honor to be among with you today. Ed and our Dean of Engineering, Scott, have shown a tremendous amount of hospitality, as well as the other staff of Oregon State in the last 3 days. I'm grateful to them. 50 years ago, I had the privilege to address my fellow graduates from this stage as ASOSU president. I came back 25 years later, and I hope to be back in 25 years again. As I set up for college from Turkey, my father gave me $1,000 for my travel expenses and other needs. In those days, and considering my family's limited means, that was a huge sacrifice. That day, I decided to work as hard as possible to pay for my tuition and not be a burden on my family. It took me 8 days on a ship from Le Havre, France to Canada. Then I bought a $99 Greyhound ticket to come from New York to Portland. When I came to Oregon State, I had $100 left in my pocket. That's how I got started. But when I came to Oregon State, I was embraced by an incredible warmness by the faculty and the students. I was the only Turkish student here, but I felt just like everyone else. And that did not stop me in going and get elected to the student body. It was the first time in OSU history a foreign student had been elected to the student body in freshman year, and then I worked my way up and became the president of OSU. I even had $100 of salary per month. And I had 2 secretaries as president of ASOSU. Now I have only 1 secretary. One of the most memorable highlights of my time as ASOSU president was hosting Bobby Kennedy. We drove together to campus in a convertible Cadillac and he was waving at the crowds who came to greet him, and I got carried away and I started waving at the crowds also. Bobby Kennedy gave an unforgettable speech at the Gill Coliseum. My time at OSU was foundational for all that lay ahead of me in my life. I take this opportunity to remember with gratitude President Jensen, who wrote my recommendation to Harvard Business School, and my American family, as I call them, the late Mr. and Mrs. Litchfield in Newport, Oregon, and all my professors and classmates who embraced me and made my time at OSU so memorable. My story unfolded in so many unexpected ways over the years I pursued my business and philanthropy. I did not imagine at all 50 years ago how my life would turn out, just like many of you don't know today. For the lucky ones among you who found your passion, your calling, your future endeavor, and good luck. For those like me who did not have a clear plan, understand that life enables you to choose and sometimes to be chosen. But what you do, what you act upon, is what determines success and fulfillment. For all of you, I have just a few thoughts that I have strived to follow in my own journey. Choose to be kind. What you will regret most in your life will be failures of kindness. We all have an inescapable connection with the outside world. We touch each other's lives simply by existing. Roald Dahl said, "I think probably kindness is my #1 attribute in a human being. I'll put it before any of those things like courage or bravery or generosity. So make it your goal to touch as many lives as possible. Raise your voice on behalf of those who cannot. Be powerful for the ones who are powerless. Don't settle for conventionalism. Question, challenge, and transform everything. But above all, question, challenge, and transform yourself to be better. There's always something you can do. In the words of Martin Luther King, if you can't fly, run. If you cannot run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But by all means, keep moving. Failure in life is inevitable. I certainly have a number of failures I could share. They taught me things about myself that I could not have learned any other way. You will never truly learn your own strength until you have been tested by adversity. So embrace it, learn from it, and move on to achieve greater things. Don't let age or circumstance confine your dreams. To dream, to imagine, is the seed of all invention and innovation. My ultimate dream was to establish a university, and I realized that dream at the age of 63. In fact, today, 6,000 miles away, on the other side of the world, over 1,000 students are graduating from Ozyegin University. Above all, engage. The most important human need is connection. Widen your horizon. Embrace other cultures as you have done at OSU. Learn from them. Empathize with other humans whose experiences you have never shared. You will learn from this more than you will learn from anything else. Become a part of this world. Don't just stand on sidelines. It is your life. It's your future. So I will end with the words of Sufi mystic Rumi. Don't be satisfied with stories of how things have gone with others. Unfold your own myth. Class of 2017, I urge all of you to unfold your own myth. Go Beavers!
Thank you, Mr. Ozyegin. It is my pleasure now to introduce Rachel Grisham, President of Associated Students of Oregon State University. Rachel has been a tireless and dedicated advocate for students. And before she comes up, I want you to know, I think Rachel's going to be back on this stage maybe in another 30 or 40 years. Please welcome Rachel Grisham.
Greetings, Beaver Nation. It is my pleasure to be here today with you all and to commemorate our time here at Oregon State. It should come as no surprise for me to acknowledge the hard work that each and every one of you have put into getting to this very day. For some, that hard work has been paired with changing your field of study, while others have experienced sustained oppressive moments. Despite what you faced, you are here. You have earned today. You have earned this recognition, and it is my honor to be one of you all today, and I am truly proud to be part of Beaver Nation. This year has given us many opportunities to come together. Together, we have survived 12 or a few more finals weeks, the closing of Young's Kitchen and Bueno's Burritos, and even meningococcal. We advocated for the things we care about, including divestment, a more affordable education, and more focused efforts on creating a more inclusive campus. We have much more room to improve as an institution and society, but this year has made it clear that when we come together as a community, it is possible for us to accomplish anything. Toronto poet and philosopher Drake once said, "Oh well, I guess you lose some and win some, long as the outcome is income. You know I want it all, and then some." The great Degrassi star put it better than I could. Now as we depart Beaver Nation, we can have it all, and then some. But I encourage you to consider what you can do for someone else. Think of those that helped get you here, or the pieces of yourself that got you here, and invest in those later in life, so you can inspire someone else. Now I ask Benny Beaver to join me at the podium to help us sing Oregon State's alma mater. Please stand as Larissa Holmes and the OSU Wind Ensemble lead us in a long-standing tradition of singing Carry Me Back that connects generations of Beavers. Everyone, please join in. The words of our alma mater can be found on the back page of your handout.
Within a veil of western mountains, there's a college we hold dear. Her shady slopes and fountains oft to me appear. I love to wander by the pathway down to the trysting tree. For there again I see in fancy old friends dear to me. Carry me back to OSU, back to her vine-clad halls, as fondly ever in my memory, alma mater calls. Carry me back to OSU, back to her vine-clad halls, as fondly ever in my memory, alma mater calls.
Thank you, Larissa, Dr. Chris Chapman, and the OSU Wind Ensemble. Hold on, folks, we have one more tradition, so please remain standing. Or stand back up. On the count of 3, please shout, "Go Beavs," so the entire state of Oregon and beyond will hear. Are y'all ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go Beavs! Oh my gosh. Y'all yelled so loud it flew away the speech. It's my pleasure to invite Wade Westhoff, class of 1993 and president of the OSU Alumni Association, to the podium to welcome you to the class of 2017. Oh yes, and you can sit down.
Thank you, Rachel. We've got 4 minutes till it's afternoon, but I'm going to go with it anyway. Good afternoon, Beaver Nation and the class of 2017. Yeah! What a great day to be a Beaver, isn't it? On behalf of more than 180,000 OSU graduates around the world, I'm excited. No, wait. I'm fired up to officially welcome you to the Oregon State University alumni family. I treasure my time as an OSU student, and in fact, Speech 111 at Shepherd Hall is coming in handy right about now. The Alumni Association has helped me keep that feeling alive since the years I sat where you sit now. I ask you to stay involved with your alma mater. Please look us up at osualum.com. And consider joining, okay? Again, congratulations, well done. Now I invite Susie Brubaker-Cole, Vice Provost for Student Affairs, to provide highlights for the class of 2017. Congratulations.
Oregon State University's class of 2017, the university's 148th class consists of 6,807 graduates. All total, they will be receiving 7,097 degrees. 5,590 of you will be receiving the baccalaureate degree. 276 of you will receive 2 degrees today, and 7 of you will receive 3 degrees today. 1,066 of you will receive master's degrees. 311 of you will receive the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. 76 Doctor of Pharmacy degrees are awarded at a separate ceremony, and 51 Doctor of Veterinary Medicine are awarded at a separate ceremony as well. 964 graduates earned degrees via distance education in 34 different degree programs. And 159 of the graduating class are veterans. Thank you for your service. Geographically, most of today's candidates are from the state of Oregon. All 36 of Oregon's counties are represented. But this is also an institution of national and international significance. Of the 50 states, this year's class lists all 50 states as their home. 4 U.S. territories or commonwealths are represented. 10 students come from U.S. minor outlying islands. 10 list overseas military addresses, and 3 list our nation's capital as their home. Internationally, 68 countries are represented. The average age of the class is 25. The oldest, or as we say, most chronologically seasoned member is 74 years. While the youngest is but 19. In attendance at today's ceremony are 4,065 candidates. We welcome these new graduates to the ranks of alumni of the university. We are pleased to have you now join the 243,081 degrees which Oregon State University has awarded in its 148-year history. Our best wishes to you, and congratulations. Now to administer the commissioning oath to our 2017 ROTC graduates from all services, I invite Captain Donald A. Nisbet, United States Navy and Professor, Naval Sciences, to the podium. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Since 1872, with the 1st Cadet Corps, Oregon State University has enjoyed a proud history of educating and training military leaders through the Army Reserve Officer Training Corps. With the exception of the service academies, Oregon State produced more commissioned officers than any other school in the nation during World War II, earning the reputation of West Point of the West. Following the war, the Navy ROTC program was established at OSU in 1946, followed by the establishment of the Air Force program in 1949. Today, all 3 service programs work closely to develop leaders of character for the community and the nation. These graduates of the ROTC programs at Oregon State have proven themselves as they have combined their chosen course of study with training in physical fitness, leadership, ethics, and service-specific academy coursing. They have been held to a higher standard and dedicated themselves to the ideals of honor, service before self, courage, integrity, excellence, and duty. Following graduation, they continue their journey serving as junior officers in their respective services, leading those who have volunteered for service in our armed forces. As part of today's commencement ceremony, 33 OSU graduates will take the oath of office, becoming second lieutenant